What I want to do today is death resolution, personal death. I want you to die. I want you to really die this moment. So just to take a moment. Most important thing is perhaps relaxation. Just imagine this scenario, perhaps connecting to your breath and breathing in. Some of you may already started to feel a little bit nervous. What would happen to my body, especially attached to our body? See if you can stay at the present moment. Breath will also go. So I just want to say a little bit about this subtle body thing in a connection to the dissolution stage, which I talked a little bit about this in the subtle body training class. We are made of 5 elements like earth, water, fire, and so forth. Also, the basis of 5 elements is this so-called 5 wind, 5 kind of pranas throughout the bodies. It has a directionality, it has some locality, and it has some specific energy you can feel. When that wind disintegrate or dissipate, then what happened is the element dissipate, those 5 elements. Element, in this case, stability and firmness of the body, that is earth element, so forth. Then 5 elements dissipate, which means the basis of the physical structure started to disintegrate. So that means you are dying physically. So there's the process. It comes stage by stage. Each stage has the certain thing, or each stage has the external appearance. So when I do a hospice volunteer, I can see the externally what's happening. Person who are dying, oh, this is at this stage, and that external one. The internal sign. So the person who are dying has visions or some kind of internal feeling. First of all, feeling and also internal sign, the appearance of the mind, how this appeared, and those things. And also this energy wind I'm talking about, this prana, certain prana disintegrate and at the certain stages. So little by little. Then also the consciousness and the chakra, each stages, each chakra and each consciousness start to disintegrate. Okay, so those are a little bit complicated, but that's what's going to happen. So I'm going to reconstruct step by step so you can identify it. That's the most important thing. When that stage comes, then you can identify it. Oh, now I'm this stage. And next, this stage will come. So no surprise, because so much chaotic phenomena appears. Now, having said that, just take a moment. If you want to lie down, you can lie down and really feel into this process. So you haven't feeling very well, recently. Maybe you got the cold or some no appetite, or then you started to lose weight a little bit. Body started to feel like a height started a little bit to shrink. That's very strange. So you went to the doctor and talked to the doctor, then waited for the result. Then 1 week after you went to the doctor, the doctor told you that you have a cancer, terminal illness, the last stage. How do you feel about that? You put off, you were caught by all the other different kind of things, you even didn't have a time to go to doctor. And finally, you were told only 3 months to live, perhaps. How would you feel about that? And you came home, then you feel more and more weak, sick, feeble thing. Already earth element is dissolving. So the death process starts even 1 year before somebody who is on the deathbed, so to speak. It's already showing the sign externally. Somebody who is very weak or lost appetite, external signs. So you don't feel do anything, not active, no energy. Limb becomes smaller, weak. Then finally you have to stay in bed. You cannot move. Especially your body started to get very tight. vitality of the skin become less. Then internally you feel imprisoned in your body, very heavy feeling. You feel heavy, something like a rock or heavy things crushed your chest. Then feeling like your body is sinking into the earth. Feel like a falling and falling and falling, pressed by the big earth. Now down moving wind begins to dissolve. So losing the connection with the physical earth, moves down from the navel. Feels like everything lost the ground. So now this stage, vision really started to weaken. The internal sign, you see everything appears like a mirage, floating like a mirage. Of course, fear comes. So you just connect to that fear. See if you can be present with that chaotic phenomena. Then slowly, that stage started to dominate or weaker. Then the next stage will become more predominant, which is water. So you are urinating and tears fills your eyes, spittle is dripping because you cannot control the fluid of your body. Then all the fluid started to dry up. It's difficult to now recognize the loved ones. So this is the external sign. So all the loved ones are surrounding you and you are on the bed. How would you feel about that? Even your parents, whom you haven't spoken for a long time, came to see you the last time. Some may be crying. How would you feel about that? And the hearing actually started to weaken on this stage. First one is vision. So internal feeling is like I feel as if you are swept away by huge waves, like a tsunami. You are drowning all the waters. The internal signs, everything around you become very hazy and smoky, not clear. Fear-lies, disorientation, be present. So now water element started to disintegrate. And the next element or next stage started to appear. That's a fire element. So externally, body heat is leaving from the heart. You cannot digest or food or drink. But internally, you are on fire. Your perception become very feeble. But like you are in the middle of the fire, intense heat you experience. And this stage, the internal sign is everything appears like a fireflies or spark of fire. So fear arises. Then now next stage, wind element. So in this stage, 10 winds move to the heart, and the inhalation, exhalation started to cease. So the previous one, fire element dissolve, you can see externally death rattle, very strong breathing patterns. So that one has started to subside. Now breath started to subside. Next one, wind element started to cease. Yeah, externally tongue become thick and blue. All pervasive wind from the center to the peripheral, from the navel through the entire body ceases. So internally feels like a burst or wind race around your body. You are lost in all the commotion as if you are carried away and wheeled around by powerful winds. So disoriented, fear arises. Your consciousness becomes very dim, like a last flicking of a candle or butter lamp. So at this moment, your sense faculties completely disintegrate. So you have a rapid series of hallucinations, which everything appears like a mirage, then smoky, and like a firefly, and then last flicking of lamp, then your death is announced. Clinical death is announced. But if you are fortunate, your family will leave you alone. Then we're gonna continue this journey. Now everything 80 gross conceptions dissolve into light and ceases. So those gross mind ceases. You sense a movement of energy downward this way. So, upper part of the two channels dissolve into the central channel. They move down. That time, white tickle, white light down. You feel like you are in the field of white light in clear vacuity, filled with white moon light. You know, sometimes in a near-death experience, people talk about moving the tunnel and the white light. So I think most probably they are talking about this. So white light. This is the downward moving subtle mind manifest. So explicit sense of I dissolve. So this stage is so-called white brilliance, first subtle mind stage of the four. Stay there. Stay as a pure subtle mind consciousness. Now that stage dissolve. The next stage appeared. Now lower part of the side channel dissolve into the central channel. You feel movement of energy upward from down to up toward the heart center. At that time, you see the intensified light, clear vacuity filled with sun-like red light. The previous one is white light, now red light. Everything is red, like a strong sunlight, very intense. This stage is called a red increase. Now, sense of I, sense of self, and the sense of attractions are all gone. The implicit sense of I, even that one dissolve. Then next one, this seventh stage. Now two red and white light comes to the heart chakra, heart center, and dissolve into the subtlest part of the central channel, here at the heart center. So two movement of energy, upper and lower wind gathers and converge at the heart center and enter into a drop, so-called this vital essence drop. At that time, you see this infinite blackness, darkness of vacuity with no reference, no orientation, nothing. Basic ignorance dissolves. In this stage, now no longer death is reversible. So now you are resting in this so-called black near attainment stage. Then now we come to this Carnegie Hall. All dissolve into life-bearing wind, which located at the heart center. The blackness, previous stage, blackness dissolve, and you experience an infinite field of light. Infinite mind of clear light of death, like a cloudless autumn sky, dawn. No duality, empty, brilliantly clear. Rest in this brilliant, clear, and empty, innate mind of clear light.